Hello, Mike Peltberger, and it's time for the September 13th High Banks Highlights, a recap of the racing action at Grandview Speedway, located off of Route 100 in Bechtelsville, Pennsylvania. I'd like to thank my wife, Mina, for doing all the rundowns. I was the first turn official last night, so here's how things shook down. 48 Sportsmen signed into the pit area, 41 small block modifieds, and 12 vintage cars. We will start out with a vintage class. They combined both the modifieds and the Sportsmen for a 15-lap A-main. Getting the win in the 97 was Gage Phillips. Second, Kevin Kuzer in the U1. Finishing third, Rich Baker in the 4. Junior Mykosh had the Jack Johnson lookalike 12A under the checker for fourth. And rounding out your top 5 was Sven Olsen in the 157. I believe it's the 5th time this season that we saw both Gage Phillips and Sven Olsen in victory lane, as they were the respective class winners in the vintage class. 15 laps, features only, won by Gage Phillips and Sven Olsen. 5 qualifying events were needed for the Sportsman, and your heat winners were the first heat win going to Stephen Smith in the 88S, Mike Loney getting the 17D to the checker for the second heat win. Third heat win going to Parker Gould in the 11. Troy Conrad getting the 78 to the checker for the fourth heat win. And your fifth heat winner was the 28L Jimmy Libey. Strong run for Jimmy in the 28L. 3 consolations needed for the Sportsman, and getting the consolation wins were Brad Force in the 8, Kenny Gilmore in the 7K, and your third consi winner was Braden Shelton in the 41. That led to the 25-lap A-main, starting 29 cars, adding a car. Dylan Swinehart became a provisional, took his provisional starting spot in 30th. And here's how things went for the 25-lap Sportsman main. Getting the win in the 17D, first career win at Grandview, Mike Loney. Fantastic racing. Him and Stephen Smith raced side by side for 6 laps before Loney eventually getting the win. He was also your halfway leader in the 17D. Colin Cox charging through the field to get the second spot in the 59. Finishing third was Parker Goulden in the 11. Parker was on the move late in the race, just ran out of laps, but a good strong showing for Parker in the 11. Jimmy Libey getting the 28L to the checker for fourth in the 25-lap Sportsman. Great run for Jimmy Libey in the 28L. And Stephen Smith, early race leader in the 88S, was fifth. Rounding out the top 10, Brad Brightville in the 19 was sixth. Addison Meitzler, the 712, was seventh. Shannon Slaughter, feature winner at Grandview this year, was 8th in the 53S, with Adriana Delapani getting 9th in the 22A. And rounding out your top 10 for the Sportsman was Mark Moore in the 20M. Hard charger, Nate Horn in the 28, advancing 13 spots. And your halfway leader was Mike Loney. Next up, setting the stage for the modifieds. 4 heats were needed, 2 consolations, and the heat winners for the modifieds, Jaron Umbenhauer in the 19 getting the first heat win. Ray Swinehart in the 33R was your second heat winner. Ryan Graver, the 101, getting the third heat win, with Logan Watt in the 4M. Started dead last in his heat, came charging through the field to grab the fourth heat win in the 4M. 2 consolations were needed. Eddie Strada, your last race feature winner in the 33, claiming the first consolation win, and getting the second consolation win, the 15G Duane Howard. That set the stage for the 30-lap modified race, and off to a blistering start was the 101 Ryan Graver. Had a straightaway lead at one point, but we had one caution on lap number 14 for a flat tire for Bobby Trapper Jr., combining the field back up on the restart. Graver had the lead for a couple of laps, but eventually got passed by both Ryan Watt and Logan Watt. And here's how things shook down for the top 10 for the small block modifieds. Getting the win in the 14W, Ryan Watt. Second, the 4M, Logan Watt. Third was your early race leader, Ryan Graver, in the 101. Fourth was Loudon Reimert in the 16. And the battle for fifth came down to right at the checker, with Rick Laubach in the 7 just nosing out the ultimate underdog, John Willman, in the 74W for fifth. John getting the 6th spot. 7th going to Jared Umbenhauer in the 19. Mike Guler in the 53 got 8th. Ninth was Ray Swinehart in the 33R, and rounding out the top 10 was the 30 Craig Von Doren. Hard Charger, Loudon Reimert advancing 13 spots. Your halfway leader was Ryan Graver. It's nice to see some drivers making the field that normally don't run at Grandview. Danny Creedon in the 16X qualified, started dead last in his heat, made a qualifying advancement into the 30-lap A main, and also Brandon Edgar qualifying by way of the Consi, but made a strong showing in the field, so it's great to see these two guys in action down at the high banks. Next up, Friday night, September the 19th, the Freedom 38er. Saturday, the grandfather of all small block races, the Freedom 76. So hope to see everybody down there. Friday night, they're also going to have practice for any of the small block modifieds that want to race in the Freedom 76. And also for the 38er, if you are a modified driver at any class or any of the series races, you are not allowed to participate in the Freedom 38er. It is sportsman drivers only. And then the granddaddy again is Saturday night, September the 20th. Hope to see everybody down there. I'm Mike Feltenberger. Have a safe week and see you at the Speedway.